good morning, or if you're watching this in some other time of the day, good afternoon or good evening. Today, I'll be presenting a key thinker in history, Auguste Comte. Auguste Comte was born in France in 1978 and died at 1857. During his life, there was great political unrest in France. Despite the turmoil, he was still able to achieve great things in his life. He presented the idea of logical positivism, and he was a very influential philosopher. Due to his achievements, he is considered as the father and founder of sociology. Before I proceed to discuss his ideas, I am going to say two more things about Auguste Comte. He was an atheist, and he was intermittently sane. Now, allow me to proceed to one of his great ideas, the evolution of human thought, or the law of three stages. For Comte, human thought had three stages of development. The first and the lowest stage is the theological stage. Second and middle stage is the metaphysical stage. Third and the highest stage is the positivist or scientific stage. Before I discuss each state individually, take note that Comte favored logic over faith. Theological stage is the lowest because of that. Theological stage in some ways is seeing and experiencing society from a perspective of religion. The explanation to everything that happens in society was because of the supernatural or will of deities allowing it to happen. Why does the cloud pour waters? Why do flames come out of mountains? Why does a ball of fire rise from the east? Theological stage will answer those questions by saying that all of those are caused by deities. The foundation of theological stage is faith, and it is, in ways, a society guided by religion. Metaphysical stage is in the middle. In ways, it is seeing and experiencing society from the perspective of philosophy. Being in the middle, it acts as a transition stage between the theological and scientific. Beliefs in this stage were a mix between the scientific and theological. It does not believe in deities, but it believes in souls and essences. To put in a metaphor, theological stage is childhood, and adulthood is scientific stage, while the awkward puberty stage is the metaphysical. It is founded in logic, but its concepts were abstract. Lastly, the third and final stage is the scientific or positivist. Comte favored logic, and it should be no surprise that he called this stage the apex of social evolution, or the highest point. This stage is seeing and experiencing society from a perspective of science. It was a society where its beliefs and decisions were based upon and guided by scientific knowledge and the scientific method. In a way, it was a society founded purely on logic. This stage is also the acceptance that there are some questions we can't answer. We mostly cannot answer the why questions, such as why we came to be, but this stage attempts to answer the how questions, such as how we came to be. The second remarkable idea he gave, and I find very interesting, is the hierarchy of sciences. Looking at this diagram, it shows that sociology is at top and mathematics is at the bottom. The direction of the arrows also tells us that as complexity increases, generality decreases. This tells us that sociology is more complex than math, yet it is less general than math. In some ways, and I think you will disagree, Comp is proposing that an essay exam in UCSP would be more complex than a worksheet in general mathematics. Ask yourself, do you agree with the statement? Is the process of writing an essay more complex and harder than solving a mathematical problem? Why did Comp say that sociology is more complex? We need to look at the nature of these sciences. Mathematics is bounded by laws and principles, and all numbers follow those laws and principles. For example, a law in math states that a prime number is any number which factors are 1 in itself. If you see a prime number in math, you know it is a prime number because it follows the law of mathematics. Sociology also has laws and principles or characteristics it uses to define a certain group, but those things don't apply to all subjects of sociology. Take, for example, if sociology said that Filipinos are hospitable. It is true, but it does not mean that all Filipinos are hospitable. Lack of generality also applies here. Generality is about having a concept that applies to everyone or everything. Math is more general than sociology because its laws and principles apply to all its subjects, like our prime number example earlier. Sociology and its laws and principles does not apply to all subjects, like our example with Filipino hospitality. Now, the essence of the diagram is not to show that one science is superior to another, but to show how sciences depend on one another. Mathematics is at the bottom because it is the foundation of all sciences. Without mathematics, this would mean that everything above it cannot exist. Given the importance of mathematics, one may argue it is the superior science, but it is not. It is a foundation, but without the sciences above it, it is meaningless. Math would just be an abstraction and numbers, without astronomy, physics, chemistry, biology, and sociology to use its concepts. Sociology is at the top because it needs everything else at the bottom in order for it to function and work as a science. To wrap everything up, Auguste Comte was a Frenchman, atheist, intermittently sane, and recognized as the father and founder of sociology. He also crafted the idea of three stages of human development and the hierarchy of sciences.